Hello friends, welcome back. We are starting a new playlist now. It's going to be very interesting, and I wanted to do this for a long time, but now we have the time for it. We are going to learn Android app development, plus we are also going to learn how do we utilize and use the Huawei mobile services facilities for developing better apps. So it's going to be a complete journey from Android to HMS, and it's going to be very easy for you. I'll teach you in a very friendly way. I have Sunandini with me who is helping us out in the entire process, and I'm sure you will like it. We will start with Android and then we will go on to the complex topics. It will be very easy and interesting. Well, what is Android? It is a simple Linux based operating system. Initially, the focus, the target, the reach was only to the mobile devices. Later on, because of the capacity, because of the reach, they also moved it to TV. I mean the smart TV, smart wearables, smart watches. It has got a lot more applications, and people are now using it in many other contents, many other devices. Now it's there almost everywhere. Well, the Java is the prominent language used in Android. If you know Java, it's going to be a cakewalk for you. It will be very easy. I will teach you how exactly you can manage even without Java knowledge. Here you can learn it and you can survive. The latest inclusion is Kotlin, and it is becoming famous, and we are going to cover that but at a later point in time. We will learn the application development with Android. We will learn the application development with Android, and we will also learn how do we develop apps with HMS. That's going to be the next part of it. There are some prerequisites that you need to meet. The first and the foremost prerequisite for Android programming is a decent programming skills. That is mandatory. You cannot avoid it. If you have Java know-how at a decent level, that's going to be very easy for you. And the hardware requirements for the Android Studio installation. You will develop apps in this session throughout with Android Studio. It's the most easiest and the most common way to develop apps for Android. And you need a PC with good RAM capacity and decent process speed. 8 GB RAM is preferred, and it would work with 4 GB, but again it may be a little slow. And while you are installing the Android Studio, please make sure that you have the minimum free space of 2 GB in your hard drive. These are all the minimum requirements that you need to have. Now let's learn a little bit of history. Andrew E. Rubin is the American computer programmer. He's an entrepreneur. He's a venture capitalist who actually founded the Android Inc. It was founded in the year 2003, and later on it was acquired by Google in 2005. 2007, they announced officially that Android is going to be developed as an operating system. Until then, it was not a full-fledged OS. It was used for camera controls. Believe me, it was developed, it was actually growing in the later part of 2007 and 8. Until then, it was not so full-fledgedly used as operating system. 2008, the first Android phone came in the market, and it was the famous brand HTC then, which had Android as the operating system. Why the name Android came? It was Andy plus Droid. That was a nickname for the Rubin, and he was very particular about robotics and droids. You know droid, right? So that's how it became Android. Andy plus Droid. Andy is interested towards droids, and it became Android, and Android rules now. So it's very easy to learn. There is no difficulty. You will learn it. You can learn it easily. Well, what is the latest version of Android? We are going to use Android 12, and we are going to learn completely with that, and it's going to be very interesting. Well, before I go into the app development, you are supposed to learn some of the most important and fundamental building blocks in Android. There are many fundamental blocks which you need to know, which will help you in going to the next level. The first one is activity. What is it? The number of screens in your app is your activity. That's all. I have number of activities equal to number of screens. That's the best way to convey it. I have how many screens in my app? Say for example 5. Then you have 5 activities. Simple. Next is view. View is one of the core building blocks, and it contains all the UI elements which you are seeing. You are seeing the buttons, text fields, all those contents, right? They all fall under view. Next one is intent. And intent in the Android operating system is a very simple software mechanism which will permit you, which will allow you to coordinate the functions of different activities to achieve a core task. Means it is a messaging object. It can carry the arguments and enable communication between components of the app. I've got multiple components. I need to pass messages in between them. I may have to pass the arguments between them. So I get all those things clearly done through the intent. Service. What is the next one? Service. It is nothing but a task. It is a task which could run in the background for a longer time. You play music and then you are doing some other task in the foreground, but the music will still play in the background, right? That's how we can connect it. It's service. The music play in the background is the simplest way you can connect with service. Well, the next one is content provider. What is it? That term itself is very clear here. Content provider. It supplies the content and it is going to get you the data between two applications on request. So I have one application, I have another application, I need to send the data and I need to receive it. One application is requesting it, so I will provide the content. So that's done through this. The next one is fragment. Fragment is an instance of an activity. There could be multiple fragments in an activity. Remember it. Fragment is an instance of an activity. The next one is Android Manifest.xml. This is a very important file. This is the configuration file. This is like the one which is going to have all the configuration details. It contains the complete information about the activities, permissions, anything. So it is equivalent to web.xml file in Java Enterprise, Java EE application. I mean, you must be aware of it if you are familiar with Java. You can connect it easily with web.xml, and Android Manifest.xml is going to carry all the information, configuration related information, and it's a very, very important file. And finally, we have got something called as broadcast receiver. Broadcast in Android is the system-wide events that can occur when the device starts. And when a message is received on the device, or when an incoming call is received, or when the device go to airplane mode, all these are events that you need to recollect. So I'm going to airplane mode, I'm going to restart, I'm going to get a message, I'm getting an incoming call. So all these are connected now, and broadcast receivers are used to respond to this system-wide event. This is system-wide event. I'm going to go to airplane mode. Okay, system-wide. I'm getting an incoming call, system-wide. So all these are handled by the broadcast receiver, and they are used to respond to this system-wide event. This is a very, very important point. So please remember, we have got 8 total fundamental blocks. They were discussed here. First one is activity, second is view, third intent, fourth service, fifth content provider, sixth fragment, and then we went on to Android Manifest.xml, broadcast receiver, and that's it. Now I'm going to tell you how do we download the Android Studio. We are going to develop Android apps with the Android Studio, and it's very, very simple and easy. You can go to developer.android.com/studio or go to Google and type Android Studio download. The first link would be this, right? You can download it with ease, and I'm going to show you how exactly you can download that with a simple recorded video out here. You can see that developer.android.com/studio, and you can go to that web page, and you have got option right away available for you to download for Android Studio the latest version, but you have got other options available as well. If you want Mac or Linux or Chrome OS, you can download that corresponding version. But make sure that you select the right version based on which system you have, what is the configuration of your system, and you have many videos over there, many featured contents over there, blogs content there, so you can read all those at your free time. And the default available content is for Windows 64-bit, and you need to accept the license conditions. I need to agree, and then you can download. It takes a little bit of time because it is a larger file based on your internet connectivity. You can get it done probably in 5 to 10 minutes max. If your internet connectivity is real good, it will be real fast. Right. So once I download, what is the next step? I need to install, right? It's also pretty easy, and I'm going to show you that as well right now. So I'm going to just double click that and make sure that you follow the steps meticulously. I tried this in Windows 10, Windows 11, everything is working fine. There are a couple of things that you need to do in case you get some errors, which I will tell about in the next session. But for this session, you can follow and you can try installing. If you get error, you can let me know. I'll help you out with it. And I'm going to cover it up what could be the errors that you will get in the next session very clearly. So you can follow that up as well. So once you double click it, it will get you a simple window where you can, it takes a little bit of time. So you can get the welcome to Android Studio setup and you can click next. That's all. The moment you click next, you can click install then, and it is going to be traditional way of installing contents, and it may take a little bit of time. So you need to select, do you want to send data to Google or not? I have selected otherwise. So you need to click next, and there are conditions that you need to accept, terms and conditions. And if you accept for the first one alone, it is not sufficient. So you need to see that here the next is not enabled. So go to the left and accept it for everything. There are Android SDK license, Intel Android extra license, Android SDK preview license. All those have to be accepted, and it takes only then to the next level. So you can then finish it off, and you have installed the Android Studio nicely in your machine. It may take a little bit of time, so please wait, and once the installation is complete, you can breathe peacefully. The next step is to develop your first app, but before that, I'll have to tell you something about how do you handle the error messages that you could get here, and that comes in the next session. Thank you very much for following my channel and the content. I hope it was interesting. I hope it is one of the most needed topics as well for the beginners, and start learning with me. I will also learn along with you. I'm sure you will like it. If you like the channel, the content, kindly subscribe and encourage me that way. Thank you very much. Bye bye.